guys, and welcome back to another video here with Crafty Mama. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to do an all-over sublimation shirt. Well, it's more like a 3/4 sublimation shirt with 11 by 17 paper, as well as the sleeves, like the picture that you see in my thumbnail. So I'm going to show you how I created that today. Before we get started, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna hop right on into it. So this is going to be how your paper looks. These are both I'm gonna show you how I got to this point. But I'm in Canva Pro right now, so if you have Canva Pro, you can follow along with me. But this is how you're gonna have two 11 by 17 pieces of paper, and this is what they're gonna look like, and then you're gonna kind of piece them together. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete all this and I'll show you how I got there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my background. This is one that I created in Photoshop. If you saw my last Photoshop video, I showed you how to create the smoke, the gold gradient smoke. That's what this is. All I did was turn that into a background, which is how we got that here. So this is just that gold smoke that I showed you in my previous Photoshop video. So this is going to be my background, and this is going to be the girl that I'm going to use. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I got her from, where did I get her from? I got her from, here she is. This is the shop that I got that girl from, by Art Queen on Etsy, and she has a lot of different things on here that are similar to Feathers of Style. This is the one that I purchased right here. It was only $2.40. She's got a lot of girls. I'm probably gonna come back into her shop, but yeah, this is where I got that girl from. Okay, let's go back to our Canva. And I'm going to go ahead and stretch her out. Okay. And then I'm going to crop her. So you're going to select her, you're going to crop, and you kind of want to find a point that's going to be easy for you to line up. So the first time I did this, I cropped her like right here, right on her eyeball. And it was so hard to get it to line up because the details were so small and tedious. So I would suggest like not cropping right on the eyeballs. So I'm gonna do it right here on the side of her face. Okay, and then I'm going to add her again to this page. Same thing. I'm gonna stretch her out. And then I'm gonna crop her again, but this time it's gonna be on this side. And you wanna do it to the point where you think they're going to line up. And then how I check is I'm gonna take her up here and I'm gonna line her up to make sure she fits, and she's not lining up right. So we're going to adjust the size until we get her to line up as perfectly as we can. Okay, so that is pretty good. That line isn't going to be there. It's only there right now because it's not there. So see, we have a perfect crop. Okay, so you want to make sure that your girl lines up here. So we see how we have the two pieces. You want to make sure that your girl lines up here before you print it. That way, you know, once you do print it, you'll have a perfect lineup. So we have a perfect lineup here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring her back down here and I'm gonna put her on the edge of this paper. You wanna line her up right on the edge. And then this one is going to be lined up on this edge. But you don't want her to be over the paper. You want her to be just lined up with the paper. Okay, so now this is going to be your the left side of your shirt, and this page is going to be the right side of your shirt. Okay, and then I'm going to take my CEO, and I'm just going to type it out in all caps. I'm going to pick my font, which was this ADA hybrid. I'm pretty sure it is in Canva. I don't know if it's in the Canva free version. I do know it's in the Canva Pro. I'm going to turn it to the side. When you see that 90 degrees over there, that's how you know it's straight up and down. And then I'm going to drag it out. And I'm going to put an effect on it. Now, this is something new that I haven't talked about in any of my other Canva videos because it wasn't out when I was making those previous Canva videos and earlier this year. But this is a new feature that Canva has released since I was doing those Canva videos, which is the text effects. And they have a lot of them that you can use. So I'll just briefly show you. The one I'm going to use today is going to be the shadow effect. And you're basically just like in, it's like a drop shadow, like in the Photoshop that I was showing you how you add your drop shadow. It's basically the same thing. So we're going to make our transparency darker. We're going to blur that out a little bit. And then we're going to change the direction of it. So it's basically exactly the same as Photoshop. You know, you just can play with it a little bit more. Okay, so I like that drop shadow effect. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate that. Put it on this side. And turn it around. 90 degrees. And then we're going to line it up. Okay, so now we have our two pieces of paper. We're just going to go to this grid view. And we're going to try to line it up to see how it's going to look. Okay, so here's your two pieces of paper. I'm going to grab this piece of paper like this. And you can basically line it up in this grid view to see how it's going to look before you print it. So this is going to be your piece of paper. Okay, so you can see that it lines up perfectly. So make sure in Canva that your paper looks how you want it to look before printing, because if it doesn't look right here, it's not going to look right once you go to print it. Okay, so we're going to exit out of grid view, and then I want to put this word on the sleeves as well, so I'm going to add a new page, and then I'm just going to duplicate this, bring it down here, because I want this same text with the shadow effect and everything. I want it to be on the sleeve, so I want to save this as well. Okay, so I'm going to go to download, and I'm going to do it with a transparent background because I want this one. Now, because we inputted this background, it's not going to affect these two pictures. It's only going to download a transparent background on this one because this one does not have a background, which is fine because we just want these letters anyway. These are going to go on the sleeves. So we're going to download, click transparent background, hit download, save it to your computer. I've already done that. And then we're going to go to silhouette. Okay. Now we're in silhouette. We're going to print from silhouette. We're going to open up our files here that you saved, whatever you saved it as. And we're going to open up both of them so I can show you how you're going to print it. Okay. So we're going to make this paper and 11 by 17. Well, we're going to make both of them 11 by 17. Okay. And then you're going to make this one 11 by 17. Okay, so when you print this one, you're going to print it as normal inside the whole page. So you're going to print this page exactly like this. You're going to go to print and you're going to print this page exactly like this. Now, as you can see, they line up perfectly. Okay, so when you go to print, everything should be fine because your girl lines up perfectly. Make sure you mirror this and make sure you mirror this one as well. Unless your printer is already set to it, then you don't have to. But if it isn't, make sure you mirror. But when you go to print this one, so let's say you just printed off this page, you're gonna move it to the side. When you go to print off this page, print it off just like a half or a quarter of an inch, whatever that is. Create a little white lip right here. Trust me, when you go to put these pages together, you're gonna want this little white lip right here because you're gonna put this on top of this, and that little white lip right there is going to help you be able to align it and tape it so that it's seamless when you go to press it. If you don't do it with the white lip, you're not gonna have, like, you're just gonna be trying to line up two pieces of paper. There's not gonna be any room for any overlappage at all whatsoever, and it's just gonna be way more tedious and way harder. So save yourself a little bit of stress, because trust me, I've done it. This is like my third time doing this shirt. You want a little bit of overlappage right here, just a little bit of that white lip, so that when you go to tape it, it tapes seamlessly. Okay, and then again, make sure you mirror both images. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these printed off, as well as the sleeves, and then I will come back and I will show you guys how to press it. Okay, so stick around for that. Okay, so I am back here, and what I'm gonna be doing is, oh, I was trying to make sure my camera was recording, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my Easy Press. I know they say you shouldn't use your Easy Press with sublimation, but my heat press is too small, and I've already tried this once with the heat press, and because it's only a 15 by 15, it was a hot mess. So I'm gonna take a stab at it with my Easy Press and see how it works. I have my two images printed out here. Now, I don't know if you remember me showing you on the computer. There's the little white lip I was telling you about. It just makes it easier to line up if you leave a little bit of it there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and line up these images and tape them. Okay, so this one has a tiny bit of a white line right here. That's going to mess up my picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to cut it off using my little, actually I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to have to use my scissors because it's too big. So it's like just a tiny little bit of a white line right there. So I'm just cutting this off as straight as I can possibly get it. Hopefully our image still lines up right. If I were to leave this white there, you would see it. Like when I go to press it, it would be a white line going through the middle of my design. So if you have that, you want to make sure you cut it off. Okay, so my camera died while I was cutting off those pieces, but all I did was just cut that little white line off. Okay, so now, and that's my Easy Press letting me know it's warmed up. So now what I'm doing is I am just going to line this up and tape it together. We're just going to put a little bit of tape on the front to hold it in place so that when we flip it over, it doesn't move. And then we're going to take the back of it and take this tape off. Okay. So this one lined up pretty good. Okay. So let me pull you guys in. See how it's nice and lined up? I put some tape in the middle. And then we're going to take this. Let me turn my fan off because it's blowing my paper everywhere. I'm going to turn it over. And then we're going to tape this part. I'm going to tape the whole thing because I want it to, you know, stay in place. Then we're going to turn it back over and we're going to take this tape off the front. Pull it gently so you don't pull your ink off of the picture, because your ink will come off if you like snatch it off. So pull it gently. Okay. Now I'm going to move this over to the side and get my shirt prepped. This is a Cricut brand shirt. I'm gonna do this on my table. Like I said, I know people say you shouldn't use your easy press with sublimation, but we're gonna try it and see what happens. Okay, so on my table, I have it covered with butcher paper. I'm gonna take my lint roller and I'm gonna go ahead and lint roll it really, really good. Get all the lint off. Okay, and then we're going to get another piece of butcher paper. And we're going to put it on the inside of the shirt so that it doesn't bleed through to the back. I might need two pieces because it's a kind of a big shirt. Okay, there's one piece. I'm gonna do another piece. And this is just regular butcher paper that I got off of Amazon. Okay. I'm going to take my lint roller one more time just to make sure there's nothing on the shirt. And then I'm going to take my heat press and just do a quick press on the shirt just to get any moisture and wrinkles out. we have our area nice and prepped. All right, and then I'm gonna take my image here and we're gonna place it face down. And we are going to line it up where we want it. And let me see, do I want it right there? I think I want it right here. So I'm going to stretch the shirt out just a little bit and tape it right there. Same with this side. I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit and tape it right here. Okay, that should be good. And then I'm going to tape the bottom. There. Oops. And right there. Okay. So now we have a smooth, even surface. Now what I'm going to do is, because I have this smaller heat press, I'm going to have to do it in probably in four different sections. With my easy press, I'm going to take it, push it down, add good pressure. I'm doing this on 400 degrees for 60 seconds. And then I'm going to press all four sections, but I'm going to make sure I overlap this section that I'm doing right here. So when I move to this section, I'm going to overlap this section that I already pressed just a little bit to make sure that there's no like line of demarcation or anything like that. And I will I'll show you what I'm talking about. We got about another 20 seconds. If you haven't already, join my Facebook group, Crafty Mamas, with an S on the end of it. I always link it in the description box, so I'll do it again for this video. Okay, so it's been 60 seconds in that spot. And as you can see, you can start to see the image come through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap this part right here that I've already, well, I'll do this side. I'm going to overlap this part right here that I just did a little bit so that we're not creating a line of demarcation. And then I'm going to go ahead and press here for 60 seconds as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do the whole shirt, and I will come back and show you once I'm done. Okay guys, so I'm back here and I have pressed the whole image. Now this pressing the whole shirt probably took about 6 minutes because I did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how I pressed it. So I haven't untaped it or anything yet, which I'm gonna do now with you guys. This is my first time trying this, so bear with me. I just wanted to see if I could do it really. Okay, so it's not terrible, but you can see that line of demarcation I was telling you about that I didn't want to get. I did end up getting from the easy press. So here, let me take this paper out. Okay, so let me lift this up. So here is the shirt. This is an extra large Cricut brand shirt. So it doesn't look terrible. So right here, there was a little pressure. The pressure might have been off a little bit right here on this corner. And then like right here, that line of demarcation I was telling you I was trying not to get, it's right here. That's where the easy press, like I pressed this corner and then it made like a small white line right here. I pressed it here. This is one section, and then here was the second section. So there was a little tiny bit of white line right there where the easy press was. But all in all, like, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look at all. I'm actually kind of impressed. I wouldn't sell this to anybody. And if you wanted to, you could take the design, like one more piece of 11 by 17 paper going the long way this way, and you could bring your design down more to cover all the way down to the bottom. And then you could add sleeves too if you wanted to. As a matter of fact, I have sleeves. I totally forgot about them. So I'm gonna go get the sleeves printed off and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so these are the prints that are going on the sleeves. So basically I just put some butcher paper in my sleeves, and then I'm gonna put them this way. They're a little bit bigger than the sleeve. Let me see. But that's okay, because I didn't want it to be like super perfect anyway. And then I'm gonna take the piece of butcher paper and just cover it, and then press it like this. 400 degrees, 60 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and do both sleeves and I'll come back and show you. All right. And there's the sleeves. So it was a cute little idea. I gotta do some tweaking. My pressure was off right here on this S right here. So yeah, it needs a little bit of tweaking to get it perfect, but the idea of it and using the easy press wasn't a terrible one. But as I perfect it, I guess I'll just keep coming back showing you guys how it gets better and better. But I think for my first time doing it, it's not terrible. But yeah, that's all I have for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.